Hey everybody's, how are we doing tonight? I just thought I'd pop in here and do a quick whip and chat. You're getting wiggled around a bit tonight because I'm trying to get you settled, and I wanted to show you my sister surprised me yesterday. I came home from Columbia and she had my Christmas tree set up in the window and turned on because I hadn't got it out of the closet yet. The candle's burning for my brother-in-law who has a job interview today. So we're working on this section of my mystery painting tonight. Just gotta move it over a little bit. Pardon the wiggling. Sometimes I can work the clamp, sometimes I can't. So, I know I should have had this set up already, but I had to show you some other stuff, so. Anyway, so this is the section we're working on. And I'm trying not to show too much because I know somebody said that they were going to get this mystery painting. So I'm trying not to reveal too much of it at one time. So I saw the rheumatologist yesterday, and I'm doing okay other than these two fingers. She wants me to go to occupational therapy and have them make ring splints for them to bring them so the knuckles come back up, which is supposed to help with them dropping where they've dropped down. So that, yeah, she says she can feel the cords here in my palm where she didn't used to be able to feel that, which is part the RA and part, I guess, Dupuytren's contracture, which don't generally go hand in hand, I guess. I don't know. It depends on what you read. So, yeah. I'm like, fun. And I forgot to call today and find out about the occupational therapy. I got to get the paper out so I remember to call tomorrow, since tomorrow is Friday. Find out where I need to go for that. Where did I put the paper? It's in here somewhere. There it is. I took my cross stitch with me yesterday because right now I'm just working on borders, and it's in a place I don't have to look at the chart. So I was just cross stitching a border. You don't say. So they called me back, and I've got the horse cover minder that Yvonne, one of my subscribers, had given me on my cross stitch as my needle minder. And I just tossed my needle on it and threw my cross stitch back in my bag. And they're like, what was that? You've got a horse thing going on there. And I was like, oh, that's my needle minder. And they're like, what's that? So I had to pull it back out of the bag and show them how, you take the needle and just toss the needle on it, hold your needle in place. And explain to them that way it doesn't deform distort your fabric. If you've got, you don't cross stitch for a while and you leave your needle in place too long, it will distort your fabric or possibly rust your fabric. So this way, you know where your needle's at, and it's stuck there. It doesn't wander off, and you don't lose your needle, down in your bag. So anyway, so I taught some people something, and they got to see my neat little horse cover minder that Yvonne sent me. So anyway, I suppose since I've got lots of new subscribers, I should show them the neat little horse cover minder I'm talking about, huh? have that. You can see the whole progress I've done on this cross stitch. It's so far along. So this is the horse cover minder I'm talking about. It's so cool. Isn't that neat? But yeah, that's I've got one border, this outer border all the way done. And then I've just started this bottom border that goes all the way around. And yeah, it's going to be a moose at some point for my brother-in-law. No, I don't have to worry about him knowing about it because, number one, he doesn't watch my channel. I don't have to worry about that. But I got this one purse that I have that I never use because it's just not my style, really. But it's open. And it's really great for cross-stitch stuff because, you just kind of throw everything down in there. And I got ready to leave yesterday. And I didn't need to take anything with me other than my driver's license, really, and something to drink. And I was like, well, I need to take something to do or something to read. And I was like, well, I'll just take my cross-stitch stuff. So I threw my billfold, or my little wallet thing that's got my driver's license in it, a little bit of cash down in there, a pack of cigarettes, and then threw my drink down in there, and away I went. So that's what's great about that bag. It's big enough I can throw extra stuff down in it. I don't have to worry about it. So you may hear some Christmas music in the background. If it's copyright, I'm sorry. Please don't give me a copyright strike. Apparently, I had approved my Alexa to play Christmas music at some point from around 4 to...
I'm not sure.
Wasn't talking to you. You gotta remember not to say her name. From like 4 to 5, or from 5 to 6 or something like that. So can't keep forgetting that you gotta call her she who shan't be named, or she answers you. And I've got one in every room. The one in here is named something else, unless, of course, my tablet is listening. That one I did not change the name on. The one in the living room is called Echo, and the one in my bedroom is called by she who shan't be named. So, and so is my tablet. So, yeah, you say her name, and she'll either answer you or tell you, I'm sorry, I'm not sure, because you didn't actually ask her a question. So, yeah. There are times when technology is more bother than it's worth, Anyways, so I taught the nurse something new in cross-stitch, when it comes to cross-stitch anyway, because she'd never heard of a needle minder. I'm sorry if I'm making you guys dance too much. I'm trying not to. That one just did not go in right. And it's not wanting to straighten out like I want it to. So I was making pretty good progress on this until yesterday was basically no progress. And then today has been, I did finish that section this morning, and I started this section but I try to work on it and get more done. Just doesn't seem like I'm getting very much done. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting more done than I think I'm getting done, but you may see some smoke. Please do not call 911. I do not need to be put out. I'm not on fire. Yes, I know it's bad for me. But so are a lot of other things, and, you don't see me out running out in front of a bus. So, yes, I know, that would end things a lot quicker, though. Anyway, just ignore that comment. I'm just, I don't know where my brain is. Yeah, so I smoke. For those of you who do not know or have not realized, I smoke. Sometimes I vape. Vaping may be better for me, may not be. I'm not sure. The jury is still out on that one. Some say it's worse, some say it's not as bad, some say, neither is good. I do both. It just depends. Generally, I smoke because, well, I enjoy a cigarette and I'm addicted to nicotine. I'm also addicted to caffeine, but, I don't smoke it. I wonder if you could smoke caffeine. Wouldn't that be interesting? Anyway, the places my mind goes, we shall never know, because I don't even know the places my mind goes. Am I amusing you yet? I'm not. My brain is so out of it tonight. But anyway, so other than my hands having gotten worse since the last time I have seen the rheumatologist, which had been at least 6 months, because, I didn't go 3 months ago. I did a Zoom call. So it had been at least 6 months since I had seen her. So they have gotten some worse, because she said last time she could not feel the cords in my hand. She said that she didn't feel like there was any inflammation. That the damage is just the damage that has been caused already, which is par for the course. Are you going to start barking again? That's what I thought. There is no reason to be barking, not unless Larry's walking around in the hallways again. She seems to like to bark at one neighbor when he walks around the hallways. He could be going to play bingo. It's about that time of night. So otherwise, other than that, I'm, the RA is still basically just doing its thing. I'm not any better. I'm not any worse. So there is that. But, I went by myself this time. My sister did not go, but she came up to check on Maddie for me. Didn't ask her to, but she figured that, she'd heard her barking, and then it got really quiet, so she came up to check on her, see what she was up to. And then she got my Christmas tree out and put it up in the window for me, which was a nice surprise to come home to. I went to a couple of craft stores. I went to Joann's and Michael's, because now you'd think that Columbia's a college town. It's a little bigger than the town of Sedalia. But I figured, Michael's and Joann's, they would have a bigger selection of cross-stitch stuff than what we would have here in Sedalia. I thought wrong. They had less stuff, and their stores were dirty. Joann's was filthy. Now, they had some diamond paintings, and they were on sale for 25% off, but they didn't have anything that I wanted. I didn't look for diamond paintings in Michael's because I just wanted to look to see what they had in the way of cross-stitch stuff. And I don't think Michael's even had a full range of floss. I wasn't really paying attention. They may have, but I was basically looking for what they had in the way of cross-stitch fabric, which they had very, very little of. And the only thing I bought was a scroll rod frame to put my I haven't decided if I'm putting my moose on it or if I'm going to put something else to start on it. I haven't made up my mind yet. Because cross stitch is not my main hobby that diamond painting is. Cross stitch is something I do when I'm sitting in my room and not really tired, but still feel like working on something. Or something to take with me when I've got appointments. Like on next Tuesday when I go back to see the knee doctor, because usually I have quite a wait there. So I might take something with me there. And I could take the moose with me again, but I think I might want to put him on something different that's something I don't have to move because right now he's on that smaller hoop frame and I have to move it every so often, every quite a little bit, so that I can get all the stitches in. Because I've got something that I'm going to be starting for in January that does the temperature of every day. And that I could put in the hoop thing, because you're just doing a little tiny increment every day. Excuse me. So I wouldn't be moving it all the time. So, I would want to put my bigger projects in, like the scroll frame. So, but the moose is not huge, and it's just done on 14 count fabric. Technically, I could do it in hand if I could get either, maybe put masking tape around the edges to keep the edges from fraying, or serge the edges. But sometimes serging the edges of that stuff doesn't always work. So, I don't know. I haven't decided yet. Or maybe I'll get another set of scroll frames. Who knows? But that was the only thing I bought. And I bought that at Michael's. But neither Joann's nor Michael's had very much of anything. So it just hit me as funny that, being a bigger town, you would think that they would have a bigger choice. Now, I was surprised they didn't have any craft stores besides Joann's and Michael's and Hobby Lobby. I didn't go to Hobby Lobby because I figured, well, number one, I was in the wrong lane to turn, and I was getting ready to leave town anyway. I was wanting to get home. And number two, I figured, well, Hobby Lobby's going to have the same thing there that we have here. More than likely. I don't know. Maybe it would have been a bigger Hobby Lobby. I don't know. I don't know if they come in different sizes or not. So, I don't know. Well, apparently the Christmas music only plays for 30 minutes. So, because it stopped already. I know it starts just shy of 5 o'clock. So, first time it did, I was like, what in the world? Who is playing Christmas music? And then I realized that apparently it had that the she who shan't be named had asked me if I wanted it to play Christmas music, and I apparently had told it yes. So, not realizing that it would do it at the same time every day and freak me out when I wasn't paying attention, and suddenly there's Christmas music playing in my living room. So, because I'm forgetful like that. Story of my life. I say things, tell them to do things like that, and then I forget that I tell them to do things. I have smart light bulbs and 2 lamps, and they are linked together so that, Maddie can come into the living room and somehow trigger the one in the living room, and the one in the bedroom comes on in the middle of the night. Now, sometimes it's Maddie, and sometimes Maddie's laying on the bed and the lights come on. So, don't know who's triggering it then. Maybe it's Mom. Maybe it's Camille. Don't know. I just know sometimes in the middle of the night the lights come on. And ain't nobody in the living room to trigger the lights. Because the one in the bedroom is not on a sensor. Well, it probably has a sensor. Or it could have a sensor. It's the echo dot in the living room that has the sensor that is connected to the lights. So, it's not the one, the Echo I have in my bedroom is like first generation. So it doesn't have those sensors like they have in the newer ones. So, it's just since I got that newer one that we've had the lights. Well, I've had a smart light bulb in my bedroom for a long time, but the second one came with a light bulb. So, it's set up so that when you go into the living room, the light comes on. It's a safety feature because, that way I don't walk into the living room and trip over Maddie's bed or something. Or trip over a toy. But, yeah. Apparently, the ghosts don't like tripping over things either. I didn't know. But, Maddie can trigger the lights. But, apparently so can Mom and Camille and whatever other little ghosties live in the building. Because it is said that this building is haunted. It used to be an old school. It's quite possible that they say that at least one of the principals wanders the halls. I don't know. I've never seen him. Camille said one of them waved at her, so I don't know. I do know that I saw Camille the other day. She came around the corner of this craft room door. Big as you please. It was just for a split second, but she came around that corner of that door and scared the living daylights out of me. I mean, it was just the craziest thing. Now, my mother stroked my hair the other day. Didn't scare me. Didn't scare me at all. But Camille coming around the edge of this door frame, I nearly came out of my skin. I think it was just the abruptness of it. That just, bam, there she was, and then she was gone. I was I was ready to run screaming. But I knew it was her. And that's her sense of humor would be to scare me like that. So, but, you know, I'm not afraid to be here in my apartment. I'm not afraid of her. It was just, like I said, the abruptness of it was just, bam, there she was, and then she was gone. You know, she hung around a little bit, I would have talked to her. But she didn't hang around. She was just, boop, gone. Here and gone. So, anyway. That's kind of the weird happenings around my house. So, but we're coming up on the holiday season, and even my sister downstairs is hearing tapping since last year at Christmas. Camille had given her a sloth for her Christmas tree. My sister downstairs collects sloths now that, well, it was something Camille and I had started because she loves sloths. My sister does. And so every time Camille and I saw a sloth, it was like, oh, we got to get that for her. And so we would get my sister sloths. In fact, I got her a pair of sloth socks yesterday at Joann's. So I did buy two things. I bought a pair of sloth socks at Joann's. Hang on, I need a drink. So, and I have to admit, it was mainly me. Every time I see anything sloth related, I have to get it for my sister. So, but she had gotten her an ornament for her tree that was a sloth. So, and she said she put it on the tree, and ever since she put it on the tree, she's been hearing this tapping. And the only reason I know that is because last night when I was down there, I heard this. It sounded like, kind of like when a dog's collar hits a bowl, like they're getting a drink. Kind of like that. Only it was just a one little tap at first. And I was like, what was that? And she goes, oh, I was like, is Spaz messing with something? She's like, oh, she's probably getting a drink. I was like, oh, is her collar hitting the bowl? And I was like, well, she doesn't have a tag on her collar, so it wouldn't be that. And she's like, I don't know. And then just a few minutes later, you hear this. And I'm like, what is that? And she goes, I don't know. I've been hearing that since I put the sloth on the tree. And I was like, it's probably Camille. She goes, that's what I'm figuring. She's like, I've been hearing it ever since I put that sloth on the tree. And, that's the kind of thing that Camille would do. She would walk by and tap on the door. And walk on by. So, she's still letting us know she's around. So, I would take the tapping over being scared half to pieces, though. Just next time, tap on something instead of scaring me half to pieces. I'd be much rather that way. So, anyway. So, it's kind of like Ebenezer Scrooge around here lately. Mom stroking my hair, Camille scaring the crap out of me. It's like, what's my third ghost going to be? It's a good question. I don't need a third ghost. Thank you very much. And if Trina comes to visit, I don't know, you know, she could come visit me. I miss her a lot. My late sister, she died the same year my dad did. I miss her a whole bunch. She had the smile that could light up the world. Man, we were together nearly every day. People, when she passed, people would see me and they'd just expect her to be right around the corner, because usually she was. That's just how we rolled. If you saw one of us, you usually saw the other. But, well, I'm at my 30-minute mark, which is usually what my WIP and chats run. So, I don't really have any more news. Just what the rheumatologist said and what my trip to Colombia was like. So, that's my news for the moment. So, I will check back with you when I have more news or have more progress than what I've made. So, you know, if you've got any questions or comments, leave them for me below. I'm hoping everybody is having a good December so far. And I will talk at everybody later. I love y'all. Hope, you know, if you like this, give me a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, I hope you will subscribe. And we'll talk at you later. Love you guys. Bye, everybody's.